Ahoy!
We both strung them out there a little bit.
And that's because it's a week to celebrate.
It is a week to celebrate. Welcome to the 100th episode of Bottom of the Stream.
Happy, not birthday.
Centenary. Yeah, so it's not 100 films. It's 100. We're including bonus episodes, Christmas specials, things like that. This is the 100th episode that we've put out to the general public.
On this feed.
On this feed, yeah, it doesn't include the Patreon episodes either.
No.
Who'd have thought we'd have got to 100, Nick?
I think you can be very proud.
I'm very proud. Somebody asked me today, and I was like, yeah, I'm really proud of it.
Good.
We've achieved good things here. We've found some hidden gems, which is what we wanted to do. And we found some absolute dog shit, which is also what we wanted to do. Because they're funnier episodes.
Yeah. I'm very happy. I'm a little bit surprised, but delighted that people continue to listen. And I would just like to say thank you for everyone who has contributed, listened, downloaded. It is really appreciated.
100%. I will echo that sentiment.
It's the first time you've listened. Welcome aboard.
Yeah, definitely. Welcome. There's 100 episodes to go back and catch up on now.
Just don't start at the start because the first ones weren't as good.
Yeah, skip the first season probably.
Like there's some good movies in there, but I think we were nowhere near as good.
We didn't know what we were doing. Some would say we still don't, but
well, yes,
we have more fun now than we did back then.
But I'm going on a curve. So
back in the early days, we had one mic and we both just gathered around it.
I know.
It's literally the mic you're using now because it's your, what do you call it, remote recording mic.
It's the backup, yeah.
Yeah, we've got this really nice mic on a stand just sitting here doing nothing in my room looking at me. And you've got this like snowball mic doing all the work. It's a really good job we didn't sell that. We were going to sell that when we brought these new mics, do you remember?
Yeah, that's true.
It's a really good job we didn't.
That was very fortuitous.
It was. Good job I'm too lazy to put stuff on eBay.
Yeah. It worked out all right, you know.
Definitely. So how's your week been?
Yeah, not too bad. I did a bit of a walk past you last weekend. Yeah,
it was nice to see you and the kids, for definite.
In the snow.
Socially distanced and doorstepped.
We had a lot of snow, didn't we?
We had a lot of snow.
Which is quite rare for us. So
yeah,
we went on a bit of an adventure, get some fresh air, and happened to steer our route past your house. So yeah,
it was a nice surprise to see you.
Did think about not knocking on your door and just shoveling a load of snow through your letterbox.
That would have been annoying. I'm really glad you didn't do that.
You'd have been really confused, especially if you didn't come down till it was just like.
I wouldn't have heard you because I was editing at the time, and I only just heard because you pressed the Alexa doorbell.
Yeah,
and that's the only reason why I heard. If you hadn't have done it, I would not have had a clue. But my letterbox is really stiff, so you probably wouldn't have been able to do it anyway.
Well, we'd have tried. But yeah, so yeah, it was nice to fleetingly see you.
Catch up. It was good.
Yeah. But yeah, that was literally the most exciting thing I've done all week was a walk in the snow and build a snowman and all that sort of stuff.
The drive to work on Monday morning was not fun.
No, I can imagine. Did you see anyone struggling up hills or anything?
I didn't. I was quite lucky. I did see there's a roundabout, big roundabout on my way into work, and there was tyre tracks across it. Put it that way. Okay. Somebody had driven on that roundabout at some point that morning.
Taken the as the crows flies.
Yeah, pretty much. Just drove straight over the middle of it. But yeah, no, that was fun. But then it just disappeared. Like within an hour, it was all gone.
Ah, well.
Never mind. Good riddance.
It's all right if you're not going to go anywhere.
Exactly. Snow's not fun when you've got to drive 40 miles a day.
Yeah, it quickly loses its luster, doesn't it? So.
It certainly does.
Awesome.
You got any Netflix news?
I've got a few bits, yeah.
Ooh.
Something came out today. Okay.
Yeah.
Something came out today that made one of my bits of news in our last newsletter completely irrelevant. Because
Sorry.
What for?
I had a drink of my Iron Brew.
You've got some Iron Brew?
I've got some Iron Brew. Treating myself.
Look at you, Mr. Moneybags.
I don't usually drink fizzy drinks, but Iron Brew's the only one that really agrees with me.
I like Iron Brew. I don't mean to cast aspersions or stereotypes. But about a year ago, I was up in Scotland.
Yeah.
For work, and I was with a colleague. We were having our dinner in Edinburgh, and this guy walked past in literally a string vest and some raggedy jogging bottoms.
Yeah, like Rob Nesbitt.
Pretty much, yeah. And under each arm, he had 2 huge bottles of Iron Brew.
Amazing.
We
the most Scottish man of all time.
Yeah, we just looked at each other and burst out laughing.
If it had a kilt on, that would have sealed that completely. Sorry, we got sidetracked by Iron Brew there.
That's fine.
What's happened? What's in the news?
I wrote a bit in the last newsletter about how Netflix was projecting that Bridgerton was going to be like its 3rd or 4th most watched thing ever in its first month of release.
Yeah.
And they've said today it is now the most watched thing that Netflix have ever released in its first month.
Really? That's mad.
82 million views.
Jesus.
We're not going to go through what a view is again, are we? Do we need to?
Anything over 70 seconds, under 70 seconds, doesn't it? Or something like that. Somewhere around 70 seconds counts as a view.
So it's stupid counting, but still, it's had more than anything else ever.
That really surprised me, because it's not... Some things on Netflix really hit the mainstream media, like Tiger King, for instance.
Yeah.
This hasn't really. I haven't seen much about it at all.
I think it has. Maybe we go on different websites.
Maybe. Definitely.
But it's also just been renewed for season 2.
Yeah, that was in the news last week.
Yeah, I believe it was. So yeah, that's
big news.
Pretty big piece of news.
That is. Really surprised me. I've got one little bit.
Okay.
Season 7 of Brooklyn Nine-Nine is hitting Netflix on March the 26th.
Okay.
That's the only thing I've really seen this week.
You've caught me off guard, because I was pretty sure you were going to have this next bit, and I've not got it up in front of me.
Sorry, what was it?
So, can I do my other one first?
Yes.
And then I'll save the big one to the end. So, okay. Netflix has also announced that another recent hit, Lupin Part 2, is coming later this year.
Oh, awesome.
Again,
I've heard really good things about that.
Yeah, me too. I know we mentioned it last week, but I have got it on my list to watch.
Yeah, me too.
But the big bit of news, and I suspect that as this only came out a couple of hours ago, you may just not have had a chance to have caught sight of it.
Possibly.
Netflix have a few hours ago announced the main cast for their live-action adaptation of Neil Gaiman's The Sandman.
Oh, really? I knew that was coming. I didn't know they'd announced a cast.
Or even The Sandman. I don't know why I pronounced it like that.
The Sandman.
like John Spiderman. Yeah.
Peter Spiderman. Cool, that's cool. I knew that was coming. I've not seen a cast announcement. What have we got?
Would you like to know? So the announced cast, Tom Sturridge is playing Dream.
Okay.
Gwendoline Christie is playing Lucifer.
Oh, that's awesome. She's the lady from Game of Thrones, yeah?
She is, and Star Wars.
Awesome.
Vivienne Achemipong is playing Lucienne.
Not familiar with that one.
I have read Sandman, but it was so long ago I can't really remember.
It sounds like it's set in hell.
Boyd Holbrook is playing the Corinthian.
Okay.
Charles Dance, isn't it? He's playing Roderick.
Also of Game of Thrones fame.
Yeah, and then this is really interesting because 2 people who may not mean much to people outside the UK. Asim Chowdhury is playing Abel. Asim
Chowdhury? Really?
Yep.
That's awesome.
And Sanjeev Bhaskar is playing Cain.
Wow. What an interesting bit of casting.
Yeah. I can't believe someone from Taskmaster's in a major Netflix.
That's mad. I've literally only ever heard of Asim Chowdhury from Taskmaster. I don't know much about him other than that.
Was he not? Did he not have a Channel 4 show? Is it People Just Do Nothing?
That's on Netflix.
Yeah, that's him.
I think you're right. I think it is.
Yeah, so that's the announcement.
Gwendoline Christie is a brilliant bit of casting.
Yeah,
that's really exciting. Cool. No, I hadn't seen that. That must have come out since I last looked at Netflix news, I guess.
Yeah, it's just because I didn't look till late and I did spot that. So yeah, pretty hot off the press as we record.
Good newsage.
Did you watch Talking of that sort of thing, did you have? I never watched it. I think I've got it all on the planner. That His Dark Materials.
I watched
BBC stuff.
I watched a few, but I couldn't get into it.
Is it worth me watching it?
I personally didn't enjoy it, but that's
Okay.
on me. I think I don't know if it's. I know a lot of people who did, so
Okay.
it's just not my. It wasn't really my sort of thing.
No worries.
I struggled with it. Have you watched anything at the top of the stream?
I have. But it's pretty much just extension of what we talked about last week, though. So, World's Toughest Prisons, done that.
Finished?
Yes.
Awesome.
There's only like 3 new episodes. The one episode, Raphael goes to Greenland.
Really?
And, yeah.
You don't imagine Greenland to have tough prisons?
There's only like 58,000 people there.
Oh, really? Wow.
It's got yeah, it's really interesting. Yeah, it's got a new prison that's it's basically looking at different ways of rehabilitating the guys. They've all got that. It's like a hotel more than a prison. So it's really interesting.
Cool.
So watch that. Watch One Division again.
Yeah, I watched that as well. It's good fun.
That's pretty much it.
I'm intrigued to see where that's going.
Yeah, 100%.
Extending from what I said last week, I did finish Night Stalker like I predicted I would.
Enjoy it?
That's a really good bit of true crime documentarying. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. The fact that had absolutely no MO, and they still managed to catch him was really interesting. Spoiler alert. The last episode is all about after they caught him and what he was actually like and who this person was. And that's the best episode.
Awesome.
By far, because he was an absolute evil psychopath. But he had this charisma about him. You know when sometimes serial killers have a charisma?
Yeah.
And he really did. And it was really good. So I definitely recommend Night Stalker. It's 4 or 5 episodes, I think. It's worth checking out.
Yeah, I'll check that out. 100%.
Netflix do true crime better than anybody at the minute.
Yeah, they've got a well-oiled production line, haven't they?
Yeah, they really have. I've started season 2 of Blown Away.
Oh, awesome.
Which is the glass-blowing TV show, a reality show. This cast of characters are not as refined as last season's, I don't think. But they are quite
what
good.
do you mean? They're what, more character?
No, they're not. They're not so charactery.
Okay.
I don't know the word. There's one guy. He's been a glassblower for 30 years, and they all kind of look up to him. But he's a contestant as well, and he's got the biggest ego I've ever known of anybody.
Oh, because within his
he's really
his field, he's like a superstar.
Yeah, he's really off-putting. His name's Chris Taylor. That's a joke between me and you, I guess. There's one episode where he wins besting blow, they call it.
Yeah,
and they did a little sit-down interview with him after it, and he went, "Yeah, that's probably not the last one of them I'm going to win."
He's like the Michael Jordan of glass blowing.
Yeah, but he's got his proper ego about it, and it was really off-putting. So I can't wait to see him get eliminated. Other than that, I watched a film called Colossal.
Oh yes, I'm aware of it.
It was an accident because I didn't realise when I'd watched it until about halfway through that it's actually on the long list. So apologies for that, as we can now no longer do it on the show.
No, that's fine. I think I'd mentioned to you before that last time we had a good look at the list, I thought it was too mainstream for this show, to be honest.
I think you're right, and having watched it, I think you're right. But it's a shame because it would have made a really good episode. It's actually
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, it's a really good film. It's bonkers, but it's good fun.
It's Anne Hathaway, isn't it?
Yeah.
When she gets angry, a monster destroys stuff on the other side of the world.
A monster appears on the other side of the world in Korea.
Yeah.
But it only appears when she stands in this particular park in Ohio. I think it's in Ohio. So once she's there, whatever she does in this park, the monster mimics.
Right, okay.
And once she figures that out, it's all about... Well, surely, in my opinion, you just never go back to that park.
Well, yeah.
But that's not how her life works.
Okay.
It's also... what's his name? Jason Sudeikis.
Oh, yeah.
He's in it as well. And so it's about their relationship, and he plays the bad guy. But I would definitely recommend it. It's really good fun.
Okay.
It's bonkers, but it's good fun. Other than that, the only other thing I've watched this week is not on Netflix. It's a TV show on Channel 4 called It's a Sin.
Okay, yeah. Tell us about
that. It's mind-blowingly good. I will tell you that.
I've heard it has been getting very good reviews.
It's so good that I've been saying for a while I'm going to start writing a blog on the website.
Yeah.
And it finally became the topic that I needed to write. You know when you watch something and you think, I need to get my feelings out on that?
Yeah.
So I did that. And that probably by the time this episode releases, that'll be up. I think I'm happy with how how it is now. But yeah, it's mind-blowingly good TV show. Like, the best TV show I've seen in 10 years, maybe more. It's perfect. But it's a real fucking heart-wrencher.
It's high praise indeed.
It destroyed me on Sunday. I'm not going to lie. I watched the first episode because it's airing weekly on a Friday night on Channel 4 in the UK, obviously. But the whole thing's already up on all four, so you can binge it. So the first one was last Friday, so I watched that as it aired. And then Sunday night I thought, I might watch episode 2 of It's a Sin. And then it was midnight, and I'd watched all of them. And there was an empty box of tissues at my feet because it is devastatingly sad.
Challenging wank.
Well, yeah, that and it's really, really sad. It's about the AIDS pandemic in the 80s, so it's
yeah,
set,
I know, yeah.
The first episode's set in 1981, and then every episode after that is set 2 years later. So you kind of follow the lives of these people for the 10 years that this pandemic went on for. And
no, it's that. I definitely am going to watch it because
please do.
It sounds incredible.
I would implore everybody to watch it. I've written in the blog. I've educated me. I know more about AIDS and HIV now than I have learned in the last 39 years of my life.
Oh, well, there you go. Is it all sort of unknowns, or is it?
Pretty much, yeah. It's an unknown cast. The main guy is the guy. He's in a band called Years and Years.
Yeah.
He's the main guy in it. And then, other than that, yeah, it pretty much is all. There's some of the parents are like proper British actors that you've known, but the main cast of youngsters, well, mid-teens, late teens, early 20s, they're all pretty much unknown. I think a couple of them, it was literally their first acting job.
Cool.
But yeah, I'll have written a blog. It should be on the website by now, so go and check that out.
I look forward to reading that. Yeah, that's
I'll
good.
have tweeted about it. So I'm going to try and do that a bit more regularly, semi-regularly. It won't be every week or every 2 weeks or whatever, but as soon as I feel like I need to get my thoughts out, I will get my thoughts out.
Good.
And if you want to do one at any point, feel free. But it's easy enough to upload them on the website.
Yeah, no, it's not a bad shout. Obviously, we already for the Patreon guys, we already have the newsletter, but we've also got Discord where we obviously share quite a lot of thoughts and
the Discord's pretty active now.
Opinions. So hop in there, but yeah, having another route like that's always good. So
yeah, it's just somewhere. It won't be always about films and TV. It could be about anything. I'm just going to write. I need to get back into writing a bit, I think. Right,
excellent.
We had a bit of an idea to do something fun for the 100th episode, did we not?
Yeah, so we're going to do a game, but we're both going to do a game.
Yeah, we're going to see who knows Bottom of the Stream better than the other one. Or which of us knows Bottom of the Stream the best. Because we've both come up with 5 questions about the history of this show. So this is going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Is that what we were supposed to do?
Well, it was rough. That was a rough idea, wasn't it?
Okay.
So what we can do, go one-on-one in order?
What, like penalty shootout style?
Yeah.
Okay. Can I make a confession?
Yes.
I've done 2 things. So
okay.
I followed the brief.
Okay.
I did that first. So I've got 5 trivia questions.
Okay.
And then I went down a bit of a rabbit hole because we don't really talk about taglines much. And
okay.
I've got another 5, which are taglines of movies we've watched.
So that's like a traditional game.
Yeah. Do you want to do them both?
Yeah, let's do that first, and then we'll do.
Okay.
I'm excited for that. So what you calling?
Are you going to re-edit all of that, or
no? I'll just
leave it all in.
Yeah, fuck it.
No, but they're not. They are all taglines.
So they're all taglines of films that we've watched.
Yeah. So it's not an either-or thing.
Yeah.
Okay, I will call it tagline trivia.
Okay. Cool. Welcome to tagline trivia, everyone. I'm going to be terrible at this. I can already see it.
I mean, there's a couple of tricky ones in there. I'm not going to lie to you.
Okay, cool. Hit me with the first one.
Vengeance is born in hell.
That could be one of two. It could be Don't Kill It, and it could be Aramentari. I'm going with Aramentari.
Could be neither.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What else could it be? Don't know. If it's not one of those two, I don't know.
Oh, it's a good guess. It is a good guess, to be fair. The answer to Vengeance is Born in Hell.
Oh, I know it. It's Little Evil.
No. It's Between Worlds.
What? The Cage film?
Yeah. I don't think he was particularly vengeful, was he?
No, not me.
Kind of blocked it from my memory.
It works better as a tagline for all three of the other films that I mentioned.
It does, you're right.
Go on.
Okay. The next one is
Start.
Friendship is just the tip.
That's friendship is just the tip. Oh, I know that. It's the package.
It is, well done.
Yes, because he cuts his dick off. Good pun.
Yeah. Very, very, very succinctly put. There's no chance in hell I think you're getting this one.
Okay.
It's a Magical Life.
Is that it? It's a Magical Life. It's a Magical Life. Well, the first thing that came to my mind was It's a Wonderful Life, and that's a Christmas film. So is it one of the two Christmas films we've done?
I mean, well done, because...
Is it Pottersville?
Yes, it is. It is Pottersville.
Amazing.
I mean, a good deduction there, because it's got nothing to do with the movie.
No.
There's no magic in it.
Pottersville wasn't a bit of a play on It's a Wonderful Life?
Well,
I think Pottersville's the name of the town in It's a Wonderful Life, isn't it?
Yes, there's a bit of a homage.
Yeah.
But
I don't know where that's come from. I don't know. There's no magic in Pottersville.
No, as relates to the actual content of the movie. Yeah. I thought that would be a tough one. Okay. I think this one is fairly easy, but okay. I love it. I think it's a great tagline. I think it's my favourite one. Shoot first, translate later.
Shoot first, translate later. I don't know that. Bon Cop, Bad Cop?
Correct.
Oh, was it really? Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose that makes sense because there were different languages, weren't they?
And then finally,
yeah,
this is very generic, so it could be tricky. There's a demon inside.
Again, we've done a few films with demons in. It's one of those three. Is it one of those three that I mentioned earlier? Little Evil, Don't Kill It, or Aramentari? No. There's a demon inside.
There's not an actual demon in this movie.
Oh. Is it somebody dealing with their demons?
Yes, I guess so.
I don't know.
It's what keeps you alive.
I never would have got that.
No. Terrible tagline for a great movie.
Yeah, great film. Terrible tagline. Cool. What did I do? 3? 3 or 4? 3?
Yeah, 3.
I wonder how any of the listeners will have got on. Let us know how you got on with that. Right. Shall we do our penalty shootout of Bottom of the Stream trivia?
Go on then.
Do you want to go first or shall I go first?
You can go first.
Okay. My first question to you is, in the history of this show, how many Oscar-winning actors and actresses have we seen?
6.
Is that your final answer?
7.
Incorrect. It is 8.
Oh, hurts.
No, I didn't include Robert Redford in that because he didn't win one for acting.
Okay.
So there's technically 9.
Well,
bad times.
Yeah. I blazed it over the bar. Well,
you did.
What was the first movie on this show that was directed by a woman?
Oh. I'm going to say Sierra Burgess is a loser, but I think it's wrong.
Incorrect.
Damn. Yeah, I think that was written by a woman.
Yeah, it was directed by a chap. The first movie directed by a woman was I Think We're Alone Now, directed by Reed Moreno.
Oh, awesome.
Are we going for a 0-0 draw?
It looks like it, yeah. We've both been terrible at this so far. Question 2. Which 2 actors have appeared in the most Bottom of the Stream films?
Could I get half a point for each?
Nope.
Let's say the guy...
This is easy. You should know this.
The guy whose name I can't remember.
Yeah, he's one of them.
Out of all those films. from Murder Party and Hold the Dark.
Yeah, I know
that
who
guy.
you mean. Yeah, the guy who's in the captain's gallery, the only male member of the captain's gallery. Yeah,
and Robbie Amell.
I will give you that. That is correct. It's Mason Blair.
That's the chap.
And Robbie Amell. How many?
3.
3 each, correct. I'll give you that one.
Thanks, buddy. What is the Spanish title of the movie Mirage?
Oh no, I know this. Mirage is my favourite film that we've done. What's the Spanish title? I don't know. It's there, but it's not there. It's never coming.
Durante la Tormenta.
No, it wasn't there after all.
Which translates to During the Storm.
Yeah, I knew it was something to do with Storm. That's such a great film. If you've not seen Mirage, go out and watch Mirage.
Yeah, check it out.
My third question. I would like you to name all 4 season openers. The first film we've done in each season.
Okay. The Open House.
Correct.
And
that was season 1.
Think I may fail on this. Take Me.
Correct. That was the season 3 opener.
And I Boy.
Correct. That was the season 4 opener. You got one left. Season 2.
And something else. In season 2. Which year was that? I'm having a blank.
No.
Michael Inside.
Correct. Well done. I'm impressed by that. I didn't think you'd get that.
That was okay. I really had to pull that one. Yeah, I'd not thought of Michael Inside for quite some time.
It's a good film though.
What was the Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah,
it's fine. What was the name of the zombifying energy drink in Office Uprising?
Oh, you've made these well more difficult than I have.
Do you think?
Yeah. Oh, what was it called? It had a green logo.
Yeah, as a lightning bolt.
Yeah. It's something like Surge.
It pretty much sounded like Bolt. That's why it had
It sounded like Bolt.
Yeah.
Zolt?
Correct.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
That was a guess. I would never have got that if you hadn't said that. But I'm having it.
I feel if you think my first ones were hard, I feel really guilty about
this next one of mine's pretty hard as well, to be fair. Question 4 for me. What was the name of our first ever bonus episode?
So
the first episode we did that was not a film. It was just after episode 10 of the first season.
It was...
What did we name it?
I have no idea what we named it. It was the one where we were talking about, like, we were trying to introduce ourselves through talking about some of the films we liked that were currently available on Netflix at the time.
Correct.
I have no idea what we called it.
No idea?
Get to Know Us?
Almost. It was called Who Are We and What Is This?
Oh, okay. I never would have got that.
Is that 2-2 now?
I've got 2 right, you've got 1 right.
I've only got 1 right.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you've only got...
Yeah, I think you're right.
Okay. So, next one for me. Anna Taylor-Joy is currently the toast of Netflix. Yeah. As she stars in The Queen's Gambit.
Yeah.
But which movie did she star in on our show?
I didn't even know she had. Anna Taylor-Joy. Can you give me a season?
I mean, tentatively I can. I'm not entirely sure. I can check if you've not got any more. 3.
Season 3, so not that long ago. You get the feeling when we're thinking like this that Ross Cook's just screaming at his phone.
100%, he knows it.
He knows he's going to get more of these than any of us.
He really liked this film, so he would definitely know it.
Thoroughbreds.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah, she was like the main.
Yeah, she was.
In it.
I didn't put 2 and 2 together that it was the same person.
2-2 with 1 left each.
Ooh, I haven't got a tiebreaker.
But let's worry about that if it comes.
Is it my last question?
Yeah.
So far during the show, what have been our longest and shortest episodes?
I will say the shortest one was Bait.
Correct. At 27 minutes, which we've already gone over today.
Was the longest one last week?
No.
Okay.
It was close, but it was not.
Was it Animal World?
No.
Don't know.
It was Humanoids from the Deep.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It surprised me when I checked last night. Rounded in at exactly 90 minutes, 1 hour and 30. Last week's was 127. So last week's was the second longest.
Cool.
So you finish on 2 out of 5.
Yeah, I think you're going to as well because I feel really bad about this one.
Okay.
What is the Miracle Mile?
What is the Miracle Mile?
Yeah.
I don't even understand the question. I don't know what the answer is.
Shall I rephrase it? All right. Why is
Miracle Mile called Miracle Mile?
Yeah, why is the neighborhood in Los Angeles called the Miracle Mile?
Does it mention that in the film?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
I've got no idea. I don't know.
Because it was an area that had a lot of money thrown into it. There was a lot of rich people moving in, and it's a prosperous area of the city.
Good to know. Good to know. So we finish on 2 all.
Yeah. So well played.
So we both know the show as badly as each other.
Like this show, a completely pointless exercise because there's no winner.
And the fact that definitely Ross Cook's just beat us both on that.
Yeah, but we had fun.
And I imagine more people will have as well.
The reason I wanted to mention Miracle Mile is because we haven't mentioned this. We've kind of, something that happened a couple of weeks ago, is that we are now followed on Twitter by the director of that movie.
We should have mentioned that. Yeah, that's true. He tweeted us a couple of times as well.
Yeah.
Mainly to promote his new book that he's got coming out.
Yeah, trying to flog his book. But I thought it was really cool.
Cool, yeah, that is really cool. It was quite a nice surprise when I looked on Twitter and saw that. He retired from movie directing after he finished Miracle Mile.
Yeah, he'd replied to our tweet promoting our movie, hadn't he?
Yeah, from like
our
2
episode.
years, almost 2 years ago. Or almost a year ago.
But I love that movie. It was good.
It was good fun. The geography was a bit mental, but other than that, it was quite good. Steve
Desjardins.
That's him. Right, we were going a bit long, so shall we get on to talk about Deadcon?
Yeah, we better had.
Okay, Deadcon was... What am I doing? Okay, this week we watched a film called Deadcon. It is from 2019. It is a 15. It runs for 1 hour and 18 minutes. And is currently rated at 2.8 on IMDb. It stars a lady called Lauren Elizabeth, who plays a character called A.K. Ashley. I don't really want to talk about her too much. She is a YouTuber who currently has 1.21 million subscribers and 955,000 Instagram subscribers. But she's good friends with Logan Paul, so I don't think we should probably mention much more about her. Also stars a lady called Claudia Salewski, who plays a character called Megan. She currently has 1.8 million Instagram subscribers and 2.37 million YouTube subscribers. Also stars a guy called... What they're doing with the fucking names in this film, try and trip me up, I don't know. This guy's called Keith Makiakenianga. He plays a character called Dave, and he is actually an actor.
I thought he was, because he's better than everyone else.
100% better than everybody else. He only has 1,873 Instagram subscribers. He is about to start in... He's about to start, or he's currently starring, depending on which country you live in Bryan Cranston's new TV show.
Okay.
It's called Your Honour. And it's coming to Sky Atlantic in March in the UK. And it also stars Tony Curran, who was in Caliber.
Ah, nice.
There's a fact for you. So yeah, he's in that. Directed by a lady called Karen Wacher. This is a second feature film. Her first one was called The Sisterhood of the Night, which is currently rated at 6.2 on IMDb. So she's got quite a big difference, quite a big gap in her IMDb ratings between 2.8 and 6.2. And was written by a guy called Scotty Landes, who is mainly a comedy writer. He worked on Adam Devine's House Party, which was a TV show. Adam Devine also a Bottom of the Stream alum. But probably most of it, he did write a horror film called Ma, which came out a couple of years ago. I don't know if you've seen it. It's on, I think it's on Amazon, but it's supposed to be amazing.
Oh, no, I've not seen that.
It's Octavia Spencer.
Yeah, I'm aware of it. I've never seen it.
I'm not sure where it is. Actually, I think it's on Now TV in the UK. But yeah, he wrote that. So that's where you'll know him from if you've heard the name before. That's my facts on the stats of the staff.
I mean, it's an interesting approach to put actual YouTubers and Instagram social media stars in
a film about YouTube and Instagram stars.
Yeah. So I didn't realise actually that the two leads were. I guess that there was a couple of cameos in there from from people.
Yeah.
But no, that's interesting. Will it pay off? Let's find out.
Let's find out. Do you have a one-word review of Deadcon?
It's like swiped with ghosts.
Wow, that's not a one-word review and a really scathing one. How does this film start, Nick?
Before I say it, I just feel like I've been a bit bombarded recently with this sort of movies, sort of handheld film, like social media type. I'm not explaining myself very well, but basically, recently I've watched Swiped.
Yeah.
I've watched this.
Yeah.
And I've watched Spree.
I was thinking that whilst I was watching it. I've seen a lot of films about people going live on Instagram and things.
And they've all used a similar gimmick.
Yeah.
Or they're about a similar subject. And they're wildly differing in quality.
Yeah, very much so.
This starts in the 80s.
It does, yeah.
And there's a guy in front of a prehistoric computer.
Prehistoric computer. That's a great way to describe it. That's correct. The guy's called John.
Yes, he is.
And he appears to have invented the internet. That's how I understood it, or at least a very primitive version of it.
Yeah, or at least social media.
Yeah.
He's invented Messenger, hasn't he, basically?
Yeah, he's got an app running. It wouldn't have been called an app back then. It would have been a program or whatever. It's called Link Rabbit. And basically it's a chat room. And you can invite people into it. It basically says call your computer on your telephone and invite people into this chat room and you can speak to them. It's like a really old green screen computer.
Sure.
Yeah, but he's on the phone to a guy who's pulling the plug on it.
Yeah, so basically he's talking to an investor, I presume.
Yeah.
Who says, there's no future in this.
Yeah.
We're out, John. We're out.
Yeah. And just as he hangs up the phone and he's very disappointed that his lifelong project is not going anywhere, somebody else enters his chat room.
Hello, yes.
Which surprises him because nobody else has got access to this program.
His DMs are very much slid into.
Very much so. This guy is called Bobby on the other end of the chat room. And he's lonely and wants some friends, is basically what his first message says.
Yeah.
It appears that they make some sort of deal between John and Bobby. And then the credits start rolling and John's eyes roll up into the back of his head. Blood starts pouring down the screen and the title card hits.
Yeah, and their exchange basically is that Bobby says, I'll help you make friends in your computer if you help me make friends in real life.
Yeah, basically. That's the deal.
And then we're in present day.
Yep, straight out of the title card, straight to ViewCon Day 1.
Yeah, so we're at a Comic-Con, but for social media influencers.
Yes, which does exist. Those sort of events are a real thing. You basically just go and meet your YouTube stars. This one's called ViewCon, and we meet...
Yeah,
go on.
Ashley and Megan.
Yes, they're basically both vlogging. I'm going to sound like an old man in this, because I've written vlogging all the way through that, and it's probably not what it's even called anymore.
They call it... They do... I think a vlog is mentioned occasionally. Maybe it's making a bit of a comeback, because I thought that was outdated terminology as well.
Who knows? I'm going to sound like an old man so much in this. Basically, we stick with Ashley for a little while. Her YouTube name is AK Ashley. And she is with her security guard and her manager.
I'd have pronounced it, just to be annoying, AKA Shlee.
Or Akashley.
Yeah. Got a bad case of Akashley.
Bless you.
Thank you. Anyway.
It turns out that some unfortunate has double booked Ashley's room in this hotel that they're staying in. And they are quite rude to the staff members in the hotel. Her manager is.
Did you clock where we've seen the hotel manager before? Because I did straight away.
Oh, God. Maybe this is the tiebreaker for the quiz. No, I didn't.
British guy.
Yeah.
Straight away I knew we've seen him on this show before. Huh. In another cameo.
Really? No, I didn't pick it up at all.
He was a news reporter in Hotbot.
What? Was he really?
Yeah.
Wow. I don't feel too bad about that because I blocked Hotbot out of my memory.
I clearly haven't, and I've got it stored right down in there. Dominic Burgess. He's been in a shitload of stuff.
Well, anyway, he plays the hotel manager in this, and they decide to shut Ashley up and to shut her manager up that they have got a room. And so he checks her into room 2210A. Why can't
It's
I
a
speak
suite,
properly?
no less.
It is a suite. We recognise the room number straight away because that was the room from the beginning. That was John's room. And the concierge who takes her up to the room seems very reluctant to let her stay there. He even tries to talk her into checking into a different hotel.
He does, yeah.
But she's like, no, I'm in now. This room's awesome. It's retro.
Yes. She invites The Rock.
She does. Yeah, she has a bit of a vlog when she gets in there. She tells The Rock that she's got a big bed and he's welcome to come over whenever he wants.
Yeah.
And the concierge doesn't even step foot over the doorway. He just drops the stuff inside the door and runs away.
Yeah.
And it's instantly noted that it's quite cold in there because you can see their breath. So you kind of know where this is heading already, but let's see if it's a fun ride getting there. Ashley, once they're alone, reveals to her manager that she's done. She's kind of finished with all this lifestyle. She doesn't want it anymore.
Yeah, she doesn't want the attention. She doesn't want, the fandom, does she? She's trying to find a way out of it.
Yeah, definitely. I've even written here she's sad when there's no cameras around.
Yeah.
So she gets left alone. Her manager and her security guard leave because it's like night time. And she finds a Polaroid picture on the floor in this room. And it is a kid with holding a bunny balloon.
Sure.
Which is the balloon is really cool. It makes an appearance quite a few times in this. And I really like it.
It's like a pink
bunny rabbit.
Bunny.
Yeah.
That's definitely for copyright reasons, not Bugs Bunny.
No, 100% it's pink. Then we come back to Megan. We leave Ashley for a little while.
Sure.
We cut to Megan, and Dave turns up at her room. It was the first time we meet Dave. He's a YouTuber as well, but he seems to be a gaming YouTuber.
He's more a Twitcher, isn't he?
Yeah. But he wants to stay with Megan in her room because they're having some sort of an affair.
Yeah, they've got a relationship going, but it comes out in the course of the conversation that she's already got a boyfriend who she has not quite managed to break up from yet.
Yes. She kind of leaves him in the room. She's like, I've got to go and sign some shit. I've got to go and be a celebrity for a bit. Stay here, wait for me. And so she does. She leaves Dave in the room. And this room incident is the adjoining room to Ashley's room. So there's like a door between them.
It took me so long to work this out. Because I just didn't think it was made clear.
No, I don't think it was. It was made clear that both rooms had adjoining rooms, but it wasn't made clear that they were next door to each other until much later on in the film. And
it could have been easily just made that clear straight away, and I would have been a lot wiser to what the hell was going on.
Because this room, Megan's room, is a lot more modern, a lot more updated than Ashley's room is.
Yeah, standard hotel room, isn't it?
Yeah. And Dave, when Megan leaves, Dave finds the same picture on the floor that Ashley found a minute ago. So it's this kid holding a balloon.
But it also, on the other side of it, it has written the words Bobby in 1984.
Yes, correct. So are we supposed to believe that Ashley's room's been left vacant since 1984?
Well, yes, I think that's what it's...
Because there's a conversation later on that really threw me about. That's what I did believe. And then there was a conversation later on that threw me completely.
And there's something that happens later on that totally contradicts it. But the way everyone acts is that, we've not opened this one up
since the bad thing happened.
30 years. yeah.
Anyway, we'll come to that because it does come up later on. Later on, Dave bumps into Megan in the hallway. There's people around, so they pretend to not know each other. Ashley, again, we cut back. There's a lot of cutting between Ashley and Megan's roles.
Because Megan's really happy and Ashley's very lonely.
Yeah. So Ashley tells her manager. Her manager was called Cara, I think.
It's just filler of them mulling around this.
Yeah, she's like, I don't want to do this, and their manager calls her ridiculous. She's like, look, you've got to get through this weekend at least. Ashley goes back up to her room because it is nighttime now, and the room's been trashed.
Yeah.
So instead of ringing anybody or trying to sort anything out, she gets her camera out and starts vlogging.
Yeah, who's trashed my room?
Yeah.
She's got a security guard. Where did he go?
Don't know. He does turn up again in a minute. While she's looking around her room, while she's logging, the hotel room telephone rings. And there's a ghostly voice on the other end that just keeps saying, please choose an activity over and over again.
Can you please explain to me what this meant?
Nope.
Because it made no sense to me.
I think it was something to do with Link Rabbit. But...
Well, yeah, you think it was.
Yeah, I do.
But it
might not have been.
It wasn't a callback to anything else.
No.
We're just assuming that. It happens again later on, but nothing happens from the phone call.
Again.
It's not really creepy.
No.
It's just,
she just hangs
sense.
up on it. And
yeah.
She never mentions it again. It happens later on to Megan. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
But while she's on the phone, the door handle starts rattling. The handle, I believe this was the handle to the closet. Like he had like a walk-in closet. Because she walks in.
I think this is... Yeah, and I think this is what was confusing as well, because most of the time I'm like, is that a closet? Is that the room to the other room?
The hotel room was laid out. There was a bathroom door, a closet door, and the adjoining room door were all next to each other, which physically isn't possible. Because where's the bathroom and the closet? If the adjoining room door's in the line with them. But that's how it was laid out. Somebody's rattling this door handle, so she opens the closet, and I've written here, someone's done a logo on the wall in blood. So the Link Rabbit logo is drawn on the wall now.
Yeah, it's basically just like a wheel, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like it's like a Trivial Pursuit cheese.
Yeah, pretty much.
Pie.
Like
put the cheese in the pie.
Almost a pentagram, but not a pentagram.
Yeah.
The security guard turns up. He has a look around. He asks her if anything's been stolen. She says no, and so he says, "Well, there's nothing I can do. If nothing's been stolen, you're just going to have to deal with the fact that somebody's been in your room."
Yeah, it was like, you're famous. It's probably just a fan. Must happen all the time.
Yeah, so he's like, I'll take your keys down to the front desk and I'll get them reprogrammed. Don't know what that would have done. Because they're still going to let you into the same room. So he goes down to the front desk and I've written here, he meets Halloran. Because this guy was basically Dick Halloran from The Shining.
Yeah.
I didn't catch his real name, but I've called him Halloran all the way through.
It was Warren, but it doesn't matter.
Warren Halloran.
It's the guy who's worked at this hotel since he was knee-high to a grasshopper.
He's an elderly man who basically is scared of this room. And he can't believe that they've actually put somebody in this room.
Yeah, they put kids in there?
He says to her, have they put a family in there? And he's like, no, it's just a YouTuber. He's like, all right then. Ashley ends her daily vlog at that point. So she goes, I'm thanks for listening, guys. I'm going on in the bath. And as she walks away from the camera turns itself back on. Yeah. And records her.
And then the walls bleed.
Then the walls start bleeding again. Horror movie trope. Cut to Megan. Megan's on the other side of the wall in the other door, in the other room. She's got a friend now. We don't know who she is. She's never been in it before or since. She is basically confiding in her friend that she's going to split up with Ricky, who's her current boyfriend, because she started seeing Dave.
Sure.
This girl freaks out a little bit. Then they hear some banging on the door. They think it's Ashley in the other room. Cut back to Ashley. She's in the bath now. It looked like she was in a bath of milk. Because
it did.
There was no bubbles in it whatsoever, but it was cloudy like milk. So I don't know
because you can't have a see-through bath.
No, exactly. So why not just cover it in bubbles?
Well, okay. They weren't in the budget.
No, milk was. So she's in the bath. She puts her head under the water, and we cut down, and we can see some legs standing behind her. Some male legs. They're just standing in the bathroom. And then the lights go all red in the room. But I don't know if that was a movie effect or if we were supposed to believe that her lights had turned red.
And there's a scream, like a huge blood-curdling scream.
Yeah, because there was like a flashback, wasn't there? Like a few quick, like one-frame cuts of TechCon 84, which is where John was in 1984.
This is the point where I've put, the rooms are interlinked.
Funnily enough, my next line says Megan's staying next door. Some annoying little brats start running around the corridor, knocking on everybody's door. Little kids. They don't stay long enough to get an answer, but they just run around knocking on everybody's door.
I've just put, now the blood's in the bathtub.
Yeah.
Oh no, she's okay.
She's all right.
This is giving me very mixed messages. It's just throwing all these tropes at you, and none of it means anything.
Cut from there, and Ashley is editing on her laptop, and suddenly the laptop goes all weird, and then the power goes off in the room.
Yeah.
So she calls down to the front desk. Halloran answers. She tells him the power's gone off. And then we get kind of a flashback to the 80s.
Because he gets out the file from the office.
Yeah.
It's just got 1984 written on it.
And we see him as a younger man heading upstairs. He's like hoovering and being a housekeeper. And he's cleaning just outside what would later become Ashley's room. And he sees a kid standing in a puddle of blood. Who then suddenly just runs into this room 2210B or A.
It's little Bobby.
Yeah, it's little Bobby. So
this a kid from the picture.
Kid from the picture, indeed. When Halloran goes in there, the room is covered in blood, and the kid is in there with the balloon. And that's quite a little bit of the one little flashback that we get that gives us some exposition of this film. The concierge turns up again. He has brought her a light bulb. Because, bearing in mind, all the power's gone off. He's brought her one light bulb. And he just kind of...
I'm no electrician.
No.
There's no way this works.
So he tries to give her... He doesn't want to go in the room. This is the same guy that didn't want to go in earlier. So he just tries to give her the light bulb. And she's like, no, I'm not doing it. I don't even know where to start. So he kind of...
But she says, this one's gone. And the one in the bathroom.
Yeah.
But all the lights are off.
It's pitch dark in there. So what he does, he just kind of leans around the door, changes one of the bulbs in the lights, and all of the lights in the room come back on.
Sure.
They work.
It gives her the other light bulb because he says, "I'm not doing the one in the bathroom or the closet, wherever the other one was."
So Ashley goes in to do it. They all do work for a very short time, but suddenly they go off again. She's in the closet, so it must have been the light in the closet. And she finds like bloody handprints all over the wall. And then someone's behind her. Somebody runs past behind her.
Yeah.
And she catches a vibe and she kind of freaks out.
Sure.
And she runs towards the door of the room, but hits an invisible wall.
Yeah. Sorry, it made me laugh.
It was quite a good little scene, actually. It was because
it was quite a good effect, but it made me laugh.
Yeah. And when she hits the deck, she gets dragged into the closet, and that's the last we see of Ashley for a little while.
It is.
So we cut back to Megan and Dave, who are in the room next door. Haven't heard any of this commotion. And they're watching cat videos on YouTube, because apparently that's what YouTubers do in their spare time.
Yep.
And
no Breaking Bad for them.
No. Dave decides that, well, we're going to have sex now. We're going to do the naughty. So shall we just film it? Because we're YouTubers, and that's what we do.
No, I'm already, as it turns out, Dave's an absolute piece of shit because he records it without it knowing.
Yeah, that's very true. That's where I was coming to that. So she says, no, I don't want to do that. I'm like a pseudo-celebrity and that sort of thing can't get out. So then she goes, I'm going to go and brush my teeth, though, because she stinks, obviously. And while she's gone, he sets up a camera inside a jug in the room that's filming them, basically.
You can't suck dick with dirty teeth. That's what she's saying.
Is that what she actually said?
No.
That's come from your mind. Okay. So, Dave, after they've done the naughty, Dave shows Megan the picture that he found. No, he does that before, sorry. He shows her the picture, and then they start hooking up. And the film instantly cuts away to some fireworks going off.
I know. I can't actually believe they've used fireworks as a cutaway.
It was like a montage of the evening of one of these cons, I guess. And then we cut to the next day. It's ViewCon day 2. We meet up with Cara straight away, who's Ashley's manager. She's missed her first panel of the day, and she's also not answering her phone.
No. So that's how you know something's really wrong.
Yeah.
She's not posted anything anywhere,
but nobody's gone to find out what's wrong with her.
Or knock on her door.
No, at any point.
You got to be downstairs in 10 minutes. No, we're not going to do that.
And then suddenly she turns up. She's walking through the show floor of this con. She's got no shoes on. And she looks dreadful, like she's not been to bed in years. But all the little kids who worship her were like, oh, she's got no shoes on. That's a new cool fashion statement. I'm going to take all my shoes off. So there's all these kids running around with no shoes on as well. And they start taking selfies with her, taking pictures with her. And Cara's concerned because it's a big day for Ashley. It's like the second day of this con. It's like her day. and she's gone all like a robot. She's even got a different voice.
She's like a featured speaker, isn't she?
Yeah. She's got a different voice. She sounds like a man now.
But I don't think they could hear that because no one noticed.
Nobody made any comment on it, but she definitely had a completely different voice.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But I think that was the fact that nobody listens to her. I think they were trying to get at that.
Well, it's either that or the fact that nothing in this movie makes any sense.
Oh, yeah, there's that as well. So Kara's like, well, I'll go and get some shoes. I'll go and get you some shoes. So she goes back up to Ashley's room. The room's been trashed again. So she calls the housekeeper and she's like, can you come and fix this room up for me, please? What we notice, but she doesn't notice though, is that the balloon is in there. The bunny balloon. And then a housekeeper shows up, and this was, I think, my favourite scene in this film. Because the housekeeper shows up, and she starts stripping the bed down. And as she throws the blanket, the sheet behind her, it lands on a child who isn't there.
Yeah.
And I thought that's really cool. I did like that. I thought that was a really
That's
good
probably the highlight of this movie. I mean, I'm now questioning the sort of training and communication in this hotel, because this housekeeper shows absolutely no qualms about coming into this haunted room, which everyone else in the hotel seems to know about.
She's got no fear whatsoever. She's happy to be in there on her own.
Yeah.
Ashley says to Kara again that she's done, and then suddenly her eyes roll into the back of her head, and she tries to kidnap a child.
Yes.
There's a little girl, and Ashley tries to kidnap her, but her mum catches her and stops it. But she doesn't do anything about it because she thinks that this kid's just with one of her favourite YouTubers. But Dave's caught all that on video. Dave kind of is vlogging it.
Yeah, because he sort of goes, he's trying to get a bit of Ashley's popularity, isn't he? He's like, oh, hey, how you doing? Because
she's like king YouTuber. Yeah. She's queen YouTuber, should I say. Cut back to Megan. Megan is vlogging again in her room. And suddenly there's a knock at the door, and it's Ricky, her boyfriend's turned up. Which is bad times because she's having an affair with Dave. She texts Dave. Ricky is also an absolute doucheball.
Yeah, totally.
And she texts Dave to tell him that Ricky's here, so don't come up to the room. And she kind of says, I'll split with him, don't worry about it. And he's in his room watching their sex tape. Because he's such a nice guy. Megan leaves. She leaves. She's like, I've got to go to this thing. I'm going to leave. I'll leave you here. Get ready. Get changed. Come down and meet me later.
Yeah, come down. Yeah.
So he gets in the shower where he starts vlogging, or I think he even went live in the shower. Which is a risk.
Just before he gets in the shower, he finds a deflated rabbit balloon under the bed.
Oh yeah, he does. That's true. So yeah, he goes live from in the shower, which is a risky move.
Yeah.
And Dave and Megan are both in this like club now, which is downstairs, and they're Snapchatting each other and basically telling each other, she's telling him to stay away, and she actually tells him to leave. She's like, Ricky's going to be here in a minute, you need to go. So then he gets a bit arsey about it. It's teen drama. Turns out Ashley's not content with trying to kidnap one girl. She's now kidnapped another child, and she's got this one. This is the boy, I think, and she takes it back to her room.
Where she's found this small child from when everyone else is, all the grown-ups are downstairs partying, I'm not quite sure.
No, not me.
There we go.
Ricky comes out of the shower, he's getting changed, he's taking selfies, because that's what male Instagram stars do, apparently. And Dave's gone back to his room, and he's watching this video again. There's a little horn dog. And
he's reviewing his performance.
Yeah, but he even carries on watching it after they've finished, and they've both gone to sleep.
Yeah.
So as he's watching this, he suddenly notices that the adjoining door opens and a little boy walks in whilst they're asleep. He recognises this boy straight away because, remember, he found the picture earlier on. And he calls down to the front desk to say somebody's been in my room.
I'll just say, this was obviously supposed to be really creepy, but having two young children, I am frequently woken up by a small child standing by the side of my bed, and I just found it annoying.
Yeah, but that's something you're used to. If that happened to me, I'd be really freaked out.
Yes, true.
If a young child was standing at my bed when I woke up in the night, that would scare the living bejeebus out of me, even if it was one of your kids. Because I just wouldn't be expecting it. Dave calls down to the front desk to say, look, somebody's been in my room. He describes the kid, and Halloran's like, yeah, I know the kid. That's Bobby. The manager overhears this conversation and just hangs the phone up because he just doesn't want to know what's going on. We cut to Ricky then, who's still getting ready. He's got his headphones in. This was a bit weird as well. His headphones start to play up to malfunction, so he rips them out of his ears. And behind him, whilst he's doing this, the bed's doing sex stuff.
It is. So it's like, yeah,
as if some invisible people are having sex on the bed.
Again, this was supposed to be creepy, but it's just like someone was like pumping their arm under a sheet.
Yeah.
At the same time, all the technology stuff's going wrong, and the interlinked doors opening. Yeah. I was like, this is all over the shop.
So the interlinked door opens, and Bobby's standing on the other side of it, the little kid. Ricky spots him. Ricky freaks out, but instead of running, he goes towards Bobby to investigate what's going on. Because that's what you do. The balloon is behind him at this point, and then suddenly the what do you call it? Ribbon of the balloon strangles him and cuts his throat. So he gets murdered by a balloon.
Of course he does.
And whilst this is happening, there's an old-fashioned modem noise playing in the background. That's the last we see of Ricky. I don't even know if he gets mentioned again.
No, I don't think he does.
I don't think he does.
He only does in passing because Megan asked him to go get some fries.
Oh, yeah. We cut straight from there. We cut to Cara. She's still looking for Ashley. She's gone missing now. She heads up to Ashley's room again. It's dark. Well, I can't remember. I can't read what that says, but it's probably not important. Dave gets on Google, and this is the bit that really made me laugh. So
yeah, this was great.
Dave Googles the words Bobby 1984, and Google comes up with no results. And so then he Googles 1984 Link Rabbit, I think, or Tech Rabbit, or something along those lines.
Where had he got Link Rabbit?
I don't know. I've literally written that. Where did he get that name from?
Yeah, I didn't get it. It didn't make sense. I felt like there was a C missing.
Yeah, it probably was. But from that, he gets...
Oh, no. Doesn't he put in, like, kids missing or something?
The Google search said 1984 Tech Link Rabbit, I think.
Okay. I thought it was something about kids. He'd gone, like, missing kids, 84, and then it took him to this TechCon.
Possibly.
Stuff.
Well, he found it anyway, and he manages to find the history of what had happened to John and Bobby and this particular hotel room. We don't get to know it.
No.
But Dave now does know it.
Something happened in 1984 at a TechCon.
Yeah. The kids are knocking random doors again. But the young girl from earlier is doing it, and she sees Bobby this time. But her sister rescues her and takes her away. So we don't have to worry about that either. And then I've written here, there's a lovely shot of a man hoovering.
Oh, yeah.
It's an overhead shot looking down on him hoovering. It really reminded me of The Shining because it was a really intricate carpet. And there's just this
I'm pretty sure
long shot of him hoovering.
I'm pretty sure we saw exactly the same shot at one point in Buster's Malhart.
Yeah, probably.
So it's just the overhead of the porter like hoovering up the conference room in the hotel.
Yeah, you're probably right. But it was a really nice shot. Megan gets home to her hotel room. She's drunk. And she's looking for Ricky, but she can't find him. So what she does instead is goes live on Instagram.
She hears a bang
from
next door, which she thinks is Ricky, and that's where she says, "Oh, can you go and get me some fries? I'm hungry." She's got the munchies.
That's the point where her hotel room the telephone rings, and it says "choose an activity" over and over again.
Still makes no sense.
Still makes no sense. So she hangs up, and then she passes out on the bed. And this is where you get your creepy paranormal activity type scene, because we see it from her perspective of all we can see is her lying on the bed. And suddenly the door opens slowly. Her computer chair starts spinning around on its own slowly. And then her shoes fly off. Which look like they were just tied to a bit of fishing wire. And then her hair moves out of her face. And then suddenly Bobby's standing there by the bed.
And the man who was with him.
Yeah.
Is the man supposed to be John?
Yeah, I think so. Because they're gathering friends for Bobby.
Yeah. So, I don't know why I'm asking this. So was Bobby already dead and he killed John?
I think Bobby was possessed in John's computer and killed John.
How did he get in the computer?
I don't know. He just did, and then he killed John. Well, yeah,
Because
he
this
must
all
have
happened in
slaughtered John because this all
1984.
happened in 1984. And now that room's lay dormant ever since. But now John's putting up his part of the deal by getting Bobby some friends.
And he's not been able to do that before
No,
now.
because the room's not been used.
Okay.
It all makes sense, Nick. I don't know what your problem is.
Okay.
Megan has the freaky link rabbit dream again, you know, like the quick flashes between of 1984.
Yeah.
And Dave calls her and texts her, trying to warn her not to go back to her room. But she ignores him. She's like, I'm already here. She wakes up at this point.
I mean, it takes him way too long to actually get off his ass.
Yeah.
And go to her room.
It really does. Then we get the scene that threw me completely because Halloran, who's really called Warren, he confronts the hotel manager about why somebody's been allowed to stay in that room. And the manager says, nobody believes your ghost stories, Warren. And if that's true, why is this the first time the room's been used in 30 odd years?
Exactly.
That's what threw me. That scene was completely unnecessary and threw the whole film into disarray.
There's something that happens right at the end that completely contradicts this conversation.
Yeah. So
we'll get to that.
At this point, Halloran heads up to the hotel room. He knocks on the door. And nobody's there. But he can hear a mobile phone vibrating, like ringing. Because they don't ring anymore, do they? They just vibrate. It's coming from under the bed. So he looks under the bed. And Ashley's lying under the bed. So he's like, oh, I've come to rescue you. But then the phone lights up and it's in her throat.
It's in her neck, yeah.
A bit like iBoy. And then she jumps him. And it's like a jump scare. And the scene ends.
Yeah, she's also then behind him. And yeah, exactly. He's pounced on. And is he ever seen again? No.
Cut from there to Megan in the shower. Ashley comes in into the room where Megan is. The Link Rabbit logo draws itself on the mirror in the steam. And then suddenly somebody knocks on the door. And it's Dave. And he bursts in. And he's like...
At last.
Yeah, finally he's turned up. And Megan gets out of the shower. He's like, come on, we need to leave. And to convince her to leave...
He's like, let's watch our sex video.
Which she didn't know existed.
Yeah, exactly.
So to gain her trust, to make her leave with him, he says, look, you need to watch this video of us having sex. So obviously...
Quite rightly, she's absolutely annoyed and gobsmacked that this was filmed without her permission. He only wants her to see the bit later on where Bobby walks in, but he doesn't show her that bit. Yeah. No, he's not.
He started from the beginning. He doesn't explain to her that bit happens.
He's not keyed it up to the place he needs.
Yeah. But then he says my favourite line of the film, because he says, we need to leave, there's an 8-bit demon here. I really liked it. I thought that's really clever. She kicks him out, but he's like, I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying. If you're not coming with me, I'm staying here with you. And so she goes to bed. He sits on a chair next to the bed, and he's barricaded the door between the two rooms with a wardrobe.
But he is comically barricaded the door because there's a huge antique wardrobe.
Which was never in her room. She's got a walk-in closet. There was never an antique wardrobe in there. And there was chairs and tables all stacked up.
Dave is strong.
Yeah, he is. Unfortunately, Dave's also tired because he falls asleep.
Dave is a bad night watchman.
Yeah. Again, the Link Rabbit logo draws itself on the wall. The app loads itself up on Megan's laptop. They wake up. They hear a noise, and the barricade is now gone. That's just disappeared. Megan's covers start to slowly pull off the bed. That's what wakes her up. Something starts to pull in her covers off the bed.
She wakes up before Dave does.
So her screaming wakes him up. Suddenly she floats in midair. She gets... Yeah, again, it's horror movie trope, isn't it? It's like floating.
Yeah, she levitates and then she's yanked off.
Which is what Dave was hoping would happen. She gets dragged off into the next room. Dave, instead of trying to flee, he gets his camera out and he starts filming what's going on. And he follows her. He's like, right, I'm going to go and investigate. And he walks into the room. So we're now in Ashley's room. There's blood.
Yeah, we're now seeing it all through Dave's handheld phone.
Yeah. There's blood everywhere. He can hear Megan, but he can't see Megan. He then runs into this invisible wall that Ashley ran into earlier. Picks himself up, heads into the closet where Megan is.
She says to him in the comes to the closet,
where Megan is standing with her back to him, and when she turned around, she's all ghostly and her eyes are bleeding. And then Ashley attacks him from behind, and the camera falls to the ground. And then I thought, oh, that's it, we're done. But we're not done.
Yep.
Because sometime later, presumably the following year at the next ViewCon.
No.
Or was it the next day?
No. This is what confused me, because the new person who comes into the room, who is specifically let in by the manager, who had just said there's nothing wrong with that room, she says something like, "Oh, this was the room A.K. Ashley was in. Yeah. I'm here on the last day 3 of ViewCon."
I assumed it was the following year, but maybe it.
So maybe it is the following year, but it's the way they said. Why didn't they just say day 1, and then we would have known it was the following year? She specifically said it's the last day of ViewCon, and I'm like, what? The day after?
The day after all this has just happened, and 4 people are now missing. 5 people are missing. If you count Ashley, Megan, Dave, Ricky, and Halloran.
The impression it gave me was almost the manager is working with the ghosts because he's
maybe
leading people into the room.
But then why hasn't he done that for the last 30 odd years?
Exactly.
I don't know.
It doesn't make any sense.
So this girl's called Lala Lauren. That's her name. She gets checked into the room. She goes to her bed, and Link Rabbit opens up on her laptop. But it's not old school Link Rabbit anymore. It's new school Link Rabbit. It's got modern day GUI now.
So has A.K. Ashley taught Bobby and John some
coding,
new coding,
maybe, and then a webcam turns on, and then the film ends. I'm sensing that you didn't like this film, Nick.
It's fucking garbage, right? And it makes no sense whatsoever. But I kind of didn't hate it.
I didn't hate it. I actually,
do you know what I mean?
Actually, quite enjoyed it.
I mean, I wouldn't go that far, but I kind of wanted to see it through.
Yeah. I would say, you know my thoughts on this type of thing. I'm going to go out there and say I did quite enjoy it. I don't think it deserves its 2.8 on IMDb. I think it's probably worth a bit more than that.
I do agree with you on that, because if you think so when we watched Aerials a couple of weeks ago, which was 1. It was 1.6,
1.5 I think. Swiped is 3.2.
And this is nowhere. This is definitely not the next worst thing we've ever seen.
No, not at all. It's better than Swiped. It's a lot better than Swiped. And Swiped's at 3.2.
Yeah, it's harshly rated, that is.
Yeah, it's very badly underrated, I think, on IMDb.
Yeah, that is a harsh rating on
I'd go 4s, mid-4s maybe. 4.5.
I know I sort of had a bit of a pop at the start saying, there's no proper actors in it. But to be fair, the 2 leads, they're not that bad. I know they're essentially playing themselves. Yeah. But they're not awful.
No, they're not awful. Nobody in it's awful.
It is the fact that it makes no sense. The script makes no sense.
It is a bad script.
There's no... It's just a load of stuff that happens. And then some more stuff happens. There's no connective tissue here whatsoever. It's just some events.
There's an idea of a good story there somewhere, of a haunted hotel room that's haunted by the internet, or the very early version of the internet. It's just not quite executed right, but as a decent, it's not a bad little horror film. There's much worse low budget horror movies out there.
It's nowhere near as bad as something like Deadly Detention.
No.
That we've seen previously. I mean,
even Malevolent.
Give me this every time over that.
It's better.
Yeah, well, this is definitely more enjoyable than Malevolent.
Yeah, 100%.
Because that was just absolutely anger-inducing.
It's got some decent little scares in it. There's a couple of jump scares in it. There's worse horror movies out there. That's as much as I can say on it.
Yeah, it's not a good movie,
but it's not as bad.
We've seen a lot worse. Again, on the curve of some of the stuff we've seen, yeah, it's not a 2.8.
No, not at all. Should we talk Stream Table?
Yeah. Still going to ask you to read from the bottom up, though.
Yeah, that's fair. Currently at the bottom in 16th is Swiped. 15th is Aerials. 14th is Malevolent. 13th is Life Force. 12th is iBoy. 11th is Results. And 10th is Hungerford. I don't think I need to go any higher than that, do I?
No.
What's your initial thoughts?
So for me, it's which side of Life Force does this go?
Oh, I'm a little bit high. I think it's which side of iBoy does it go?
Okay.
One. We're somewhere between Results and Malevolent then.
Yeah, so we're not
too far away.
I mean, I didn't really like iBoy. I think I liked it more than this.
Yeah. See, I did quite like iBoy, so I think you're probably right. But
I think Life. Yeah, I can give or take which side of Life Force.
I think I
probably enjoyed this.
Yeah,
more.
I was just going to say that. I think I enjoyed this more than I enjoyed Life Force.
You know, whether that's because at times Life Force felt like a bit of a slog.
Yeah.
And also it didn't really make any sense, so they're quite a
good match
pair to put together.
So do you want to go just above Life Force?
Yeah, why not?
Okay, just above Life Force, just below iBoy. I think that's fair. That's about right. One's a nonsense film, one's a film about technology. And this is a nonsense film about technology, so it fits perfectly there.
Lovely.
How are we going to turn the tide on it, though?
I mean, I think I just do a bit of work here, guys. Yeah. Let's explain things a bit clearer.
I wanted to own its scares more because it goes for some scares and it backs out of a couple of them. It doesn't follow through with its scares. It needs to be scarier.
And there's so much of the stuff just happens off screen.
Yeah,
and I totally get that's probably budgetary issues. It's effects issues, but I needed more than her just. She's disappearing off into a room with all of it.
The most frustrating point about it for me is when you've got, as you would say, a Captain Exposition in there. You've got a character that knows what's happening when this Warren/Halloran character. Use him a little bit more. Give me a bit more information on what happened between John and Bobby and why they're doing this.
Yeah.
And then you've got a half decent film. It's almost there.
It's not like you've not got a bit of time to use. This is only an hour and a quarter.
Yeah.
Give 10 minutes on what happened.
Give me 10 minutes more
of that flashback stuff.
Because they went for it and then bottled it. It was like the flashback was almost there, and then they just didn't do anything with it.
Of him discovering the bodies. Yeah. It's like, actually, come on,
tell us what happened. They found out what happened, and we didn't. I need a little bit more. I just want a little bit more explanation of what's happening, and I need it to own its scares a bit more.
How about this then? So, you probably need to completely double the budget to do something like this. But what if you told both at the same time?
Double time.
And they mirrored each other.
That could be quite interesting because you've got there was a con, I think it was called TechCon, going on in 1984.
Yeah.
And then how that could also tell the story of how cons have changed over the 30 odd years.
So let's see the same movie, the same events, 45 minutes each. You go scene to scene to scene to scene.
Yeah,
just follow them
done.
Through.
That's
a bit different, wouldn't it?
Film. I'll give you that, and then just be a bit more scary. Own your scares. They showed a gory scene of Ricky being strangled by this balloon string, but then that's all they really did.
Yeah, and you've got Halloran to tie the two together.
Perfect. You just made a top 10 film there, Nick. Well done.
Oh, thanks.
Talking of top 10 films, shall we pick next week's?
Yeah, let's do it.
What do you want from next week?
I would like a comedy, but a proper comedy, not one that I feel like I've laughed at a few films that I wasn't supposed to.
I was thinking
over the last few weeks.
Thinking about this on my drive home today. We haven't done anything like post-apocalyptic for a while, or if ever properly.
Well.
I like some sort of post-apocalyptic thriller.
Yeah, we did the Bad Batch last season, didn't we? That was
a bit. That was like almost too far though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We've never done a disaster movie either. Like a earthquake movie.
Did we not do an alien invasion?
Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like a Day After Tomorrow or a natural disaster type movie.
Yeah, that's true.
Right, I'm going to press the button. Are you ready?
Yes.
It's picked a film called El Camino Christmas.
Okay.
We can do a Christmas film in February.
Oh, why not?
Any ideas what it is?
I mean, I want to try and be funny and say it's just Breaking Bad, the Christmas
exactly
movie.
What I thought. The synopsis says, El Camino Christmas tells the story of Eric, who comes to El Camino looking for his unknown dad. He's harassed, hit, and jailed by a drunk local cop who later shoots at a liquor mart with Eric plus 4 inside. The sheriff and deputy then shoot up the place, answering each other's fire.
That's a really weird synopsis.
It's really, really weirdly written.
Yeah. Okay, fine.
Currently rated at 5.7 on IMDb. And stars Dax Shepard.
Oh, okay.
Who's a name I have not thought of for probably 20 years. Also stars Kurtwood Smith, who he was the dad in that 70s show, I believe. But it's probably more famous for lots of other things.
Dax Shepard was in, I thought he was in Idiocracy.
Oh, yeah.
Which I talked about on our Christmas special.
I'm not recognising anybody else's names, but I'm sure there'll be more people in it that we will know.
Cool.
I don't know if it's a Christmas film. I don't know why it's called El Camino Christmas, but why not? We're just going to do it.
Let's.
So go and check out El Camino Christmas, and in the meantime, check us out on Instagram, Twitter, and Letterboxd. All got the same username at BOTS_podcast. Facebook.com/bottomofthestream. Our website is www.bottomofthestream.com. On there, you will find every episode we've ever recorded. You will find all 4 current stream tables. You'll find loads of other cool stuff on there, including some merch. Check us out on Patreon, patreon.com/bottomofthestream. We've done a couple of bonus Patreon episodes lately, so you'll get bonus episodes. You'll get early access to the episodes if I can get back into the habit of not edit them on a Sunday afternoon. You get a newsletter that Nick writes every month. If you come in at a certain level, you'll get a wild card. We'll send you some stickers, that sort of shit. And also come check us out on Discord. The Discord link will be in the description of this show, and it's literally just press that one button and you'll be there with us. So do that, please.
Yeah, if you can't do any of that, please spare us a few minutes to leave us a review anywhere that you can leave reviews about podcasts. That's places like Podbean, Podchaser, Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, or Link Rabbit.
Don't check us out on Link Rabbit. You might get attacked by a killer balloon.
Cheers.
Cheers, bye.